Hey, it's Jared. Today we're going to talk about premium cases for the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Now, I did a video earlier on about cases for the 14 Pro Max, but they were more budget-priced cases. A lot of the higher-rated cases at lower prices that are sold on Amazon. Most of these cases are available on Amazon, and I've got the links in the description below. But we're going to be looking at cases that are of a bit higher quality, and that also means the price point's going to be a little bit higher. People have been asking for this, and I tend to use cases that have a little bit higher of a price point because I'm going for quality as well. So the first case we're going to start out with is from Pitaka. This is their MagEX Pro case, and this case is a really nice case. It has this kind of fiber Kevlar look, maybe carbon fiber. It just really depends on what you're considering it as. It is a molded case, so it has kind of two layers to it here as well. On the backhand side here, you can see that it has that carbon look with very minimal Pitaka branding down there. It has a nice raised edge around the camera module to protect it from coming in contact with things if you put it table side down or whatnot. The only thing that I don't like is that this case doesn't really balance well when sitting flat because the camera module is raised up. That's design of the phone as well. Even without a case, you'd have that issue. The buttons are cut out nicely here and very responsive. I have to say, I do really like this case. This case is MagSafe compatible and also wireless charging. So you can see here when I attach the anchor ring to the back of it, it has the MagSafe compatibility. Very strong magnets on it. Down below, you can also see it has a good cutout area here for the charger and both speakers, and good access for the switch and for your volume rockers as well. So overall, a really nice case. It doesn't have that fiber finish feel to it. It does kind of have a consistent feel all the way across. And then as it molds over here to the front, it turns just solid black, and it has decent screen down protection. I have a screen protector on my phone, so that raises the screen up a little bit, but it does provide some screen down protection if you like to put your screen face down and have some protection against anything that may be on the surface that you set your phone down on. So the Pitaka case, a really nice case, definitely has a good feel to it. Doesn't really have any grip or anything like that around the case, but nonetheless, a very nice premium feeling case for the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Now, I really like the packaging of the next case from Native Union. It comes in this nice little pouch here, which you could probably use for something else after you get done taking your case out of it. But this case has a very different look to it. It's kind of leather down here, and then it has like a micro texture up here that goes all the way around the rest of the case with nice soft protection for the backside of your phone once you place it in the case, which I found is good because little micro pieces of grime and stuff like that from your pocket get down into the case. And if the case has like a hard plastic on the inside, all those things are doing is just kind of slowly sanding away at the back of your phone. And so having an interior to your case that is soft definitely helps. So we've got a raised area here around the camera module. As you can see, this case is very form-fitting, a little bit thinner around the edges than the Pitaka case that we looked at. And so as I kind of go around this case and look at it, it has a natural grip built into it because of this micro texture, which I like, and then the transition into the leather on the bottom. Now, Native Union, Paris, I'm not a huge fan of the words on the back of the case. I wish that this was maybe at least in a dark color so it didn't stick out as much. But nonetheless, the bottom portion of the case looks very much like the iPhone or the Apple leather case. Very consistent with the Apple leather case, but then transitions up into this nice micro texture that has a great feel to it and helps you feel like you have a good grip on your phone as well. Same amount of screen down protection as the first case that we looked at, so pretty consistent there. Overall, really nice case. Let's give it the MagSafe test. Yes, it does support MagSafe. As we can see when we saw the inside of the case, it had the ring there to signify that it probably supports MagSafe. And that magnet's pretty strong, not as strong as the Pitaka, but that's also going to support wireless charging as well. Nice case from Native Union. I haven't really experienced any products from Native Union in quite a while. Early on in the days of like Kickstarter and whatnot, I think they had some products. They had some really nice charging cables, and I think they still produce those really nice woven charging cables. So Native Union's been around for a while, and they have some nice products, so definitely check them out. But nice packaging as well. Bio-based and recycled materials, they say. I like the pouch. I would definitely use that for something moving on outside of just having the case stored in it. Now, the next case we're going to look at is from Mimicat, I think, 3D stereo cooling phone case. This is really interesting, and the reason that I chose this case is because of this design. I mean, it is just cool looking. This case has like a 3D, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, it's like these little orbs that are carved out, and it's just really interesting looking. And the grip is really cool as well. I can't wait to try out this case and spend more time with it. The phone snaps in really easy, which is nice, and it just has a cool texture to it. You can kind of see the Apple logo through there a little bit. Has the raised area around the camera module. Has kind of a chamfered edge here around the side of the case, which makes it a little bit easier to hold on to. And then, of course, the texture that continues around the side for extra grippiness. And I have to say, like, this case is just cool. It's different looking. I would have to see what this feels like. It's just an interesting texture, and it has a really cool look. It's like when we saw the Mac Pro for the first time after the trash can Mac Pro, and the way that it was machined. It has a very similar look to that and makes me think of that. So I love the fact that this is a very breathable case, very simple as far as its construction, but overall just a really neat looking case for the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Still has some face down protection, which is great, and the buttons are very responsive and lots of room for the charging cable to get in there. The case comes down just a little bit further, and so it's deeper recession here getting into your charging port and your speakers, of course, but still plenty of clearance based on the chargers that I use. I could tell just by looking at it. This case is fun to hold, and the fact that it is so grippy, built into just the natural texture of it, I think this is going to be a great case, and I for sure am going to be hanging on to this one and spending some more time with it just because of how unique and neat it is. Let's give it the MagSafe test just to see, and it is not very MagSafe compatible. It's just a little bit of MagSafe that's coming through the phone, but you will get wireless charging support out of this. You just won't get the MagSafe. The next case is the Speck Presidio Grip. This is a case that I buy for every single phone that I have that they make the case for. The Speck Presidio Grip has been around for a while, and this case is MagSafe compatible and just one of the best overall cases out there that's available for pretty much any phone, consistent style across all of the different devices. So we have a raised area around the camera module. We've got reinforced corners with plastic, and the case is like a silicone, but really dense feeling to it. And it has the inlays here that are for gripping. So looking at the grip on the case, it has exposed grip on the side, and then it goes inverted to the back of the case. And what I like about that is that you still have grip, but it supports MagSafe and doesn't get in the way and doesn't make MagSafe a challenge because of the protruding grip. On the sides, though, you want the protruding grip so that you have something to hold on to, and I've always liked that about this case. It has good screen down protection for protecting your phone against anything that it might come in contact with, and every area is nice and open for access, including the switch on the side. The buttons feel really good. And overall, the Speck Presidio Grip is just a fantastic case that you cannot go wrong with. And usually a decent price. It's definitely a more premium case, but not one of the most expensive ones out there. So Speck Presidio Grip, a go-to case for me for every single phone, but we're also looking at other cases, so let's jump into the next one. The next case we're going to look at is the Civilian Series case from UAG, case that I really like, and I was using this case for quite a while. I'd say probably 3 or 4 phone generations, iPhone generations, I had switched over to this case simply because I loved the orange accent. It's an all black case with minimal Urban Armor Gear branding on the back, a very protective case, but then you flip it over and you've got a little bit of orange around the edges, which I really like. And so it gave a little bit of color without being super distracting. The buttons are easy to access. They don't stick out a ton too, which I really like. They feel very well implemented into the case. This particular case does support MagSafe really well, and very strong magnets in this case, and supports wireless charging also. We've got the same type of protection around the camera module, And as we get down around the bottom corners of the phone, you can see that we have open areas for like a lanyard that could be attached here. I don't believe it comes with one, but you could attach a lanyard to that. And then also plenty of access for our ports. I'd say to me, this looks a little bit tighter around the charging port, but most charging cables are going to fit that no problem whatsoever. Good screen down protection, and overall just a really nice looking case. I like this case. I still like it. And there's been minimal changes, I'd say, through the different variations of this case, even from before MagSafe was a thing and now when MagSafe is. Overall, this is just a great case. The Civilian series, definitely one of my favorites from Urban Armor gear. Next, we're going to look at a case from Torras. Torras is on the cheaper end of the spectrum as far as these cases that we're looking at. But the reason that I chose it is because it has a unique feature that most other cases don't have. And that's the ability to swap out the buttons on your phone for buttons of a different color. So I like dark cases. This case has a little bit of transparency, as you can see here, and you can see it is MagSafe and wireless charging supported. But the fact that I can swap out the buttons for different buttons allows me to customize and add a little bit of color. So we're gonna do that together here and swap out these buttons. So we'll just pop this open somehow here and get these buttons out. But I love the fact that you can customize these a little bit. It gives a little bit of personalization to your case, and it is a more inexpensive case, but the Torras cases have pretty good quality. I've never had a problem there. But this is one of the thinner cases of the cases that we've been looking at so far. So if you are looking for a thinner case, something with a little bit of transparency to it, I think you're probably going to like this case. So we're just going to swap out these buttons here, which give it a little bit more personality than being a kind of solid black case with a little bit of transparency on the back. Definitely adds to the experience there. Those snap in really easy. Very simple to add those on this particular case. And I definitely like that accent. Just having a little bit of a red accent really looks cool actually with my Charizard background here that I have up, because I've been doing some Pokemon content on another channel with my kids. And so this case, very nice. Obviously, let's test out the MagSafe. That snaps on and is very solid MagSafe, just as solid as most of the other cases we've looked at so far. Lots of protection around the camera module, and I like how they faded it into the edges here. So this design here along the ridge is really nice. It doesn't seem to stick out as bad as the other case. Some of the other cases we've looked at that just have more of an abrupt edge to them. I like the softness of this edge compared to some of the other cases. With the red buttons, definitely can't go wrong there. We've got good screen down protection, and overall, just a nice looking case. You can see the Apple logo very minimally through the back of the case, and good open areas for our ports and speakers. So overall, I'd have to say this is a really nice case. It is on the cheaper end of what we've looked at so far with premium cases, but I'd have to say just fantastic case all around. So for me, what case would I choose? Well, I'm probably going to go with the tried and true Speck Presidio grip. This is the case that I purchase for every single phone, whether it's an iPhone or a Samsung Galaxy phone or a Google Pixel phone. It's just a tried and true case that I know I'm going to enjoy on all of the different phones that I have. And so I tend to go to this case. You can see here, I've even dropped it once, and we have a little bit of edge damage to this particular case on this phone, but it protected the phone really well. It does gum up the case a little bit, but it's much better than having damage to the aluminum frame or the glass of your phone. So overall, I'd say a really nice case that I choose every single time. But every case that we've looked at so far in this video are fantastic and have really interesting and neat, unique features to them that are attractive, which is why I decided to order them and give them a try for this video. Use the links in the description below to get pricing and color options and style options for these different cases. Definitely helps support the channel when you click on those links. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you back in the next one. Take care.